Since the Stoneman Douglas shooting, there's been a lot of pressure across the country on corporations who have special deals and discounts and connections with the NRA. People want them to distance themselves, and so far it actually has been pretty successful. Since Thursday, more than a dozen brands have severed ties with the NRA. In a statement on Saturday, the NRA called those decisions, quote, a shameful display of political and civic cowardice, which shows a very shallow understanding of how capitalism works, since those brands are doing what they can to protect their profits because people don't like the NRA anymore. That wasn't clear to them. But another company that recently signed on actually was Delta. It's a gigantic corporation, the airline Delta, which said they would no longer be doing one of their special discounts provided to NRA members. Delta said in a statement this last weekend that the decision, quote, reflects the airline's neutral status in the current national debate over gun control, which certainly that seems accurate. They had previously given a special discount to NRA members. Now they're taking that away, bringing them back to neutrality. Let's see now if the GOP takes it that way. We turn now to the Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Cagle, who said, I will kill any tax legislation that benefits Delta unless the company changes its position and fully reinstates its relationship, which means special discounts with the NRA. Corporations cannot attack conservatives and expect us not to fight back. And now the state's Republicans are threatening to kill part of a bill that's currently being debated, which would eliminate a state tax on jet fuel, which is intended to help regular Americans. If it passes, the provision is expected to save Delta tens of millions of dollars, although now, who knows if it will.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on this one because they shouldn't be getting the tax credit in the first place. And now there's a race to the bottom. It's well-meaning governors and local officials who are Democrats across the country going, Delta, come here, come here.
You can bring up
yeah, so in fact, I really, here, let's bring those two tweets out for a second. So on the one hand, nice opportunity to strike back at Republicans. I think the red states are gonna have nothing left at the end. Now, nobody's gonna have any health insurance. So here's Governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, who won recently. Hey, Delta, Virginia is for lovers and airline hubs, which is an uncomfortable sentence. You're welcome here anytime. This is my favorite. Birmingham, Alabama Mayor Randall Woodfin says, hey, Delta, you know, in mathematics, Delta represents the change in something, e.g., change headquarters. Let's chat.
Unfortunately, there's not a single Republican that was able to follow that.
They're like, mathematics? Oh, I knew this guy was dangerous. So that's clever, and I appreciate that they're reaching out to do the right thing in that sense. But I don't like the race to the bottom. And we'll give you the tax cuts. We'll give you the tax cuts. And they're like, yeah, it'll help consumers eventually. Well, why don't you just help the consumers instead of helping the company who keeps most of the tax cuts and then passes down a little bit to us?
Yeah.
So on the other hand, punishing a company by taking away government goodies because you don't like their positions, that's problematic.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying we will give this individual corporation special tax discounts now contingent on providing discounts to one political organization's members, that doesn't just seem inappropriate, that definitely has got to be illegal.
Okay, you know, I don't know what the Ties Foundation does. I do remember Glenn Beck was awfully upset about it at some point. And you know, I don't know if they're connected to Soros, but let's just assume for the purpose of this conversation they are, right? Could you imagine if in a liberal state they're like, Delta, you no longer have this deal with Ties Foundation, then we're gonna punish you. You no longer do what Soros tells you to do, then we're gonna punish you. What would happen to conservatives?
What would happen?
Or wait.
Oh, we need a mind-blown shirt.
That's right.
Yes, and just in a philosophical sense to the conservatives, this is really interesting because it really makes clear the level of understanding that conservatives have of capitalism, which, as we know, is their god. That the way capitalism is supposed to work is that your corporation does better if people like it and want its products and support it, and worse if they don't. And so this is a bunch of regular people saying we won't support you unless you do this. Regular people, a distributed thing. The conservative response is we're going to use government legislative favors to force you to do what we want. That's the exact opposite of actual capitalism. So if you're going to worship capitalism and you're going to bring the entirety of our country down this terrible path that we've been on for decades or centuries, you could at the very least understand what it is that you're worshiping, because you don't seem to have a great relationship with it right now.
It almost sounds like big government telling businesses what to do.
You just watched the video by the Young Turks, the home of the revolution. If you'd like to get the full show, come join us and become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.